In this video, I'm going to tell you the exact ingredients of the Krabby Patty. No guessing, no theories, no detours. The real secret that the series has been hiding for more than 2 decades. And I'll explain why Mr. Krabs guards this formula so fiercely. Why he keeps it locked in a bottle, terrified of anyone discovering the truth even SpongeBob doesn't know it. For more than 2 decades, not even a once, the Krabby Patty truth has been confirmed. Fans and creators alike have surrounded it with layers of secrecy and conflicting ideas. Some creators have even denied certain rumors, while others have tried to rebuild lost details, frame by frame, using screenshots and hidden clues from the show. In one of the episodes, we can clearly see the secret recipe written inside the bottle, and as shown in front of you, it is just words that have no meaning. 4 cups of GHS Gezg and what? 1 teaspoon of Zuog Vjel is obviously just nonsense from the makers to deny some rumors that the paper is empty. And if we want stronger evidence in one of the other episodes, we can also see the paper clearly in one of the shots. But what is written this time is something different, is a real equation. Instead of ingredients, you can follow such shots along the show and you will not reach any result in the end. Over the years, fans have tried to decode those frames, comparing ingredients, scenes, and references across episodes, but none of them reached the final truth. Even big YouTube theory channels made their guesses, some reasonable, others completely wild. The truth is, none of those theories were ever confirmed, but still, some of them fit together too perfectly to ignore. These ideas might not have been officially validated by Nickelodeon, but they do make sense, especially when you look at the way the show behaves around this one secret. Throughout the entirety of Bikini Bottom, and for 20 consecutive years of the SpongeBob SquarePants series, the secret of Pearl Krabs' parents remains a mystery. There are no other whales in Bikini Bottom, and what's more, Mr. Krabs, out of all the inhabitants of Bikini Bottom, adopted and raised her. I think everything is clear. The only reason that would drive the most miserly person in the world to raise a whale, the largest animal in the ocean, is that Mr. Krabs uses whale meat to make burgers. This theory is very plausible and gives a strong answer to why Mr. Krabs is so hysterical about the secret ingredient leaking. Even though he's foolish at times, he's smart enough to know that this would be the end of him and the Krabby Patty. This theory doesn't confirm whether Mr. Krabs is directly consuming Pearl's meat to make his burgers, or whether he killed all the other whales and is raising her as a backup or out of compassion. But in either case, it would be very bleak and could cause the collapse not only of the restaurant, but the entire chain, especially since the show's creators had to state on X that the Krabby Patty doesn't contain any animal meat. Although many fans believe this is just a cover-up by the creators, it hasn't stopped them from considering other theories amidst the creators' stubbornness and lack of confirmation regarding the secret ingredient in Krabby Patties. Everything starts with Mr. Krabs himself. He's one of the few crabs we ever see in Bikini Bottom. Think about it. Across the entire Bikini Bottom, there are almost no other crabs. That's why many believe the secret ingredient is crab meat. This theory suggests that Mr. Krabs has been using his own species to make his burgers. The Krusty Krab isn't just a restaurant. It's literally shaped like a crab trap, a building designed to capture crabs disguised as a fast food joint. It's a perfect symbol of irony, the crab who profits from his own kind. Some fans say this isn't a coincidence. Even the show's creators admitted that the restaurant's shape was intentional, a direct visual pun. But the idea that crabs might actually be serving crab meat takes that joke to a terrifying level. If it's true, it means he's the last survivor of his species, and he's turned his extinction into a business. But that's just one theory. Another one focuses on plankton. His entire species is microscopic, invisible to the naked eye, existing in huge numbers all around the ocean. If you think about it, grinding them down into chum or burger paste wouldn't be that difficult. Mr. Krabs has a long history of turning anything into profit, especially if it hurts plankton. So, if crabs really used plankton as an ingredient in the Krabby Patty, it would mean that every time SpongeBob grills a burger, he's cooking a piece of plankton's family. That would also explain why plankton is so obsessed with stealing the formula. He's not trying to get rich. He's trying to stop a genocide. Each of these theories paints a disturbing picture of the Krabby Patty. They show Mr. Krabs not as a greedy businessman, but as a desperate survivor willing to cross any line to keep his empire alive. Yet despite how logical these theories sound, the show's creator, Steven Hillenburg, made one thing clear. The Krabby Patty contains no meat. It's entirely meatless. So if the secret ingredient isn't animal flesh, what is it? At this point, the mystery becomes even deeper. If the Krabby Patty is not made from animals, why hide the formula? Why guard it like a sacred weapon? Why would the mere revelation of its ingredients be enough to terrify Mr. Krabs? Because the truth is not horrifying because of what it contains. It's horrifying because of what it proves. When you start connecting every clue the show ever dropped, the truth begins to form a clear picture. Across several episodes, small details appear. Bottles falling into mixtures, recipes half shown, ingredients whispered but never repeated. Piece by piece, the pattern reveals itself. The Krabby Patty isn't a meat product at all. It's a carefully engineered plant-based formula designed to imitate meat perfectly. In the Great Patty Caper, we see real ingredients written down: flour, salt, turmeric, even barnacle shavings. In Friend or Foe, a scene shows bottles spilling into a bowl. 4 large measures of an unknown base, which fans later identified as fava beans. And in Krabby Road, we glimpse coded measurements that match this structure exactly. Taken together, these scenes form the first true reconstruction of the recipe. According to that reconstruction, the patty begins with 4 cups of fava beans as the main protein. Then comes a chopped onion for flavor, breadcrumbs to bind the texture, and a hint of chili pepper for that addictive kick. Liquid smoke adds the grilled aroma, while flour, salt, and turmeric hold the mixture together and give it the warm golden color. A small teaspoon of crushed barnacle shell provides calcium, a nutrient sea creatures need. Everything is balanced with seaweed sauce, connecting the flavor of the ocean itself. But there's still one mysterious element that ties it all together. The ingredient that explains why the patty bleeds like meat, browns like meat, and tastes more real than meat ever could. That ingredient is red algae extract. Red algae, or rhodophyta, is one of the most important marine plants in the ocean. It's used in real-world science to create vegan substitutes that look and taste like animal flesh. It gives a deep red hue when raw and turns brown when cooked. It carries the same umami flavor that makes meat irresistible. This explains why citizens of Bikini Bottom are addicted to Krabby Patties, why they lose control, why Squidward nearly lost his mind after tasting one bite, and why eating too many causes strange reactions, like we saw in just one bite. The flavor comes from biology itself, from the chemistry of the sea, so Mr. Krabs isn't hiding a crime. He's hiding a lie that every fish in town unknowingly believes. They think they're eating meat, something powerful, primal, essential, but they're not. They're eating plants cleverly disguised as meat. If the truth came out, Bikini Bottom would riot. Customers would feel betrayed. The empire Mr. Krabs built on pride, greed, and hunger would collapse overnight. That's why the bottle stays sealed. That's why no one, not even SpongeBob, is allowed to know. And so after more than 2 decades, the final formula stands revealed. 4 cups of fava beans, 1 chopped onion, breadcrumbs to bind it, liquid smoke, chili pepper, turmeric, 1 teaspoon of calcium supplement, crushed barnacle shells, flour and salt, seaweed sauce, red algae extract. That's it, the real Krabby Patty, a masterpiece of deception. Not murder, not cannibalism, just a vegan illusion crafted to control an entire city under the sea. Don't forget to comment what you think, subscribe to the channel, and like.